Hello to all the Atlanta United fans. My name is Jurgen Damm, and you are watching Scarves and Spike, an Atlanta United podcast.
It has been 87 days since Atlanta United has last played a game that counts, right? And unfortunately, it didn't end well, but we're back. We're back this week.
Back.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Dude, I'm freaking pumped. This has been the busiest 2 weeks ever. But I cannot wait to see the Benz back the way that it should be. I cannot freaking wait.
Yeah, that's going to be fun, man. We'll get into it a little bit later, but from what Garth told us today, it should be pretty much a sellout in the Benz for opening day against Montreal on Saturday. So, yeah, I'm just excited that we're going to be back, that Atlanta United is back, that we have soccer, games happening, competition. I can't wait for Saturday to roll around, man.
Well, Saturday's coming up here in a few days. We will be at the Signia, so come hang out with us at from 5:30 to 6:30. We'll get you pumped up, get you some drinks, get you some food, and then send you over to the Benz. Go buy your kid if you haven't, get in your seat, and then scream really loud when they announce Miguel Almiron. That is your plan. If you have alternate ones, let us know. But we have a big show today. Kellen Williams from MLS Season Pass is going to be joining us to talk about opening week of MLS. We have the Noah Cobb interview. If you are a Patreon member, you probably have already seen it. We have posted it a little bit earlier. If you're not a Patreon member, join us. We have a Discord. You get discounts at our store, our Etsy store. We got a bunch of new stuff up there with a new logo, all of that. That's super cool. Hang out with us in the Discord. We're doing fantasy MLS this year. I will probably quit playing after week 3, but everybody else plays throughout the regular season. I had Yakamaka still starting the last week, so that does not work out very well for me. Yes, join that. You'll also get exclusive interviews. These two gentlemen on here talked to Garth Lagerwey and Chris Henderson. Chef Henderson, as we call them here, that we inherited from the Battered Herons friends. So go check those out. Those were some good listens.
And Latte Lath was in there too. A little extra of Latte Lath besides what you got in the press conference.
So you got a latte more interviews when you join our Patreon. And predictions. We're going to start our predictions. We're going to need your help, though, to decide what the winner of the predictions get and what the loser gets. So we will get to that as well. And then I think we've also got a pretty big announcement here that we're going to get to after the Cobb interview.
And we have a drawing?
And we have a drawing for the MLS gift card, the $25 gift card. So anyone that retweeted it with showing us proof that they did it, we got you in the drawing. We'll do that at the end of the show. So we might be going till 11 o'clock. We're not really sure. I told my kids I was going out for milk and I might never return.
Oh, no.
So that's where we're at. You guys go from there. I've talked way too much.
It's a big one. It's a big one. We have a lot of stuff going on. I mean, this is a fun one. Obviously, we have the Noah Cobb interview, like Tommy said. It's a freaking fun time. It's always a good time to talk to Noah. He is well beyond his years in terms of soccer knowledge, and I think just as a person, he's a good kid. Callum coming on for opening day. But no, I can't wipe the smile off my face. I'm just excited. We literally have 72 hours before we get to watch a legitimate real life soccer match in Mercedes-Benz Stadium with a Five Stripes kit and somebody named Miguel Almiron wearing it. Again, it is not 2018. It is 2025. That blows my mind. Blows my freaking mind. But kudos, shout out to Garth, Chris, like the whole group. Like, if this were Football Manager, they would have won. I'm just saying. I'm excited.
I actually I updated the rosters on EAFC today. I was really excited, and Latte Lath was finally there. Just kept reloading it. So, because like, look, no offense, TRA. I needed a little bit more. I needed a little bit more from my striker in EAFC. So, yeah, he's legit. At least if the video game's there, he's gonna get a hat trick on Saturday. If not, then I blame EAFC for making a false game. With that said, should we play the interview?
Yeah, let's dive into it. Without further ado, here is.
We got to get into it. We got a lot of stuff. Let's go.
Here is. All right, everybody. Tyler and Sydney here alongside Atlanta United and U.S. Youth International center back Noah Cobb, friend of the show. We're on last year. What's going on, Noah?
Hey, Noah.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Great to have you back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, we're just gonna dive into it because I know we only have a little bit of time. I'm trying to get as much out of you as we can. But so we're about to start 2025 officially, and you guys have been at it hard for the past month and a half. What about this version of the team makes you most excited about this season?
I mean, I think one thing that was completely, was new to me was pretty much everyone, plus or minus a few guys are returning players. So we already have that kind of team chemistry a little bit, everybody already knows everybody. And I think having that as the foundation on day one is huge because you don't have to go over those things as much. You can really jump straight into the football side of it. And I think that's what excited me most is day one. It was straight in, this is how we want to play. This is, the way we're going to break teams down and, stop us if you can. So
you talk about the new faces or the old faces on the team. There is a big new face, obviously in the touch line, building up technical area, and Ronnie Dyla. Thus far, underneath him, under his training, his guidance, how has training been with him in the fold?
Yeah, training's been great. I think he brings a lot of clarity. I think for me personally, it's really good. You know exactly what the manager's asking from you. And I think that's the same for every player. And even as the center back, I know what he's expecting of the fullback, the 6, the 8. So kind of what the guys around you are supposed to be doing. So it helps you, when you're, making an action or something, this is probably where these players are going to be. And they've been really, really intense. And I think the standard and the quality of training has been great.
Yeah, I was going to ask you just super quick. We heard that word intensity. The intensity has picked up. I think Luke mentioned it a few weeks ago. How much more intense is it versus when, I'm not asking you to compare managers, but versus when Gonzalez here under Rob? What's kind of the differences in that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that guys are like trying any harder or any less hard, but I think it's, the small details where if when you're passing to your teammate, playing in front of them, leading them into the space, like the little small details are really cracked down on a lot more. And I think now that we're, 4 or 5 weeks into preseason going into the first game, you can really see the progression from where we were week 1 to now and just how much cleaner we are in those areas.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things I believe we've kind of seen like from Chattanooga. Shout out to your hometown.
Yeah.
to kind of where y'all are at now. I mean, is it fair to kind of call it maybe a little more disciplined in terms of like those specifics being kind of like hunkered down on?
Yeah, I think discipline's a really good word. And I think along with, like I said, everybody kind of knows everyone else's role. So there's a real sense of like togetherness when you're on the field. Everybody, like the word I'm using is like safe. You feel really safe on the field because you know that the guys beside you have your back and you know what they're supposed to be doing. They know what you're supposed to be doing. And it's a real togetherness and it's a real like unit mentality when we're out there.
So one of the guys that have kind of made a big splash coming into this season, obviously, is Miggy making his return. Do you see any difference with kind of Miguel Almiron being back there, kind of a part of the group? I mean, I know you were obviously a lot younger when he was here the first time around, but I mean, has that addition made any kind of visible difference to the individual players?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I actually don't even think I was at the club yet when he left to go to Newcastle. But I mean, it's just he has so much individual quality. You know, I mean, some of the touches, some of the passes, the finishing. I mean, you can see it in training every day. The individual quality just adds another layer to our team that we can really use.
Yeah, that was good. That was what I was going to ask you. I wasn't sure if you were with the team when he was here, 2017, 2018. Obviously, you were aware of him as a footballer, but fast forward to a few weeks ago when all the rumors, all the reports about him potentially coming back to Atlanta are coming out. I'm sure you're like us, kind of refreshing your feed and all of that, just seeing what's going on. What's sort of your reaction when you saw the news of that possibility pop up, and what's your reaction when you heard, hey, this is what's happening?
Yeah, it was crazy because I initially saw the Charlotte rumors and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then, not too long after that, it was starting to be rumored that he was coming to Atlanta. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously before I came to the club, I was a fan of Atlanta and I came to the games and I saw Miggy, and, having him join the team again is super cool. He's older, more experienced now, played at the highest level you can play at. So yeah, it was super cool to see him day one.
And you don't have to defend against him when y'all play.
Very true. Yeah. Very true.
So kind of jumping back to your group, because it does seem like the defenders, the center back core, the wing backs and all hasn't changed much. It's been pretty steady over the past year. How's your relationship kind of improved with, guys like Stian and Abram and Derek Williams and of course Brooks and the rest of them? Like what are some of the lessons that you maybe have learned from them over the past year?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're all returning players. We all know each other already. We're all super cool with each other off the field. And Louis speaks English, so we can all communicate. Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot. I've learned, I've probably played the most with Derek and Louise, just because, right and left. And I think I've learned a lot of like game management strategies. I've learned, maybe when we have to go more direct, when it's time to keep it, when to foul if we have to foul, just little, game management strategies that, you might not think of on your own. You need a more experienced player to help you out there. So I would say I've learned a lot. And like I said, we're all super cool with each other off the field.
So you talk about how much you've learned from the current players like Louise, Derek, Stian, but as you've come up through the academy, as you've come up and eventually landed on the first team and contributing on a pretty consistent basis with Atlanta United, as you look back through your time with the academy, as a teenager, as a younger player, who are some of the individuals that have really helped you get to where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Matt, who's now the assistant coach. He was my U15 coach. And he's still with me now. So he's someone that's really helped me in my development. Also someone like Jack Collison. He was my U17 coach and then my coach with the twos as well. And I think so he was my, first professional coach, if you will. And I think having him there those years, obviously he played at the top level as well. So I learned a lot from him, asking him questions. And
All right, everybody.
The
Tyler and
credits were
Sydney here
supposed to
along
roll here.
he was my, first professional coach, if you will. And I think having him there those years, obviously he played at the top level as well. So I learned a lot from him, asking him questions, and yeah.
And of course, you're in the international picture right now, U17, U18, what have you. And yeah, obviously 2026 is right around the corner. Um, with that in mind, there are obviously, admittedly, other center backs ahead of you, but with that in mind, 26 coming up, maybe 2030 coming up, do you feel like there's a certain pressure that says, hey, I got to really step things up to get myself into the picture, really on the youth aspect, but maybe 2017, 20 or 2027, 2028, leading up to the next cycle after that?
I mean, I wouldn't use the word pressure. I think,
Sure.
I mean, 2026 is super, super close, and I'm still a young player, so
Sure.
obviously that would be a dream.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to do really, really well and
Yeah.
have maybe some outside help with things that I can't control. But right now, I'm just it's in 2027, 2028 seemed like a lifetime away for me. So but I know it's right around the corner, like you said. But I'm focused on trying to break into the first team here and trying to really just give my best, improve 1% each day in training, and be the best player I can be today and tomorrow and next week, and go from there. And hopefully that mentality adds up come 2026, 2027, 2028.
So I kind of have two. It's kind of a two-part question, but I guess the first part is going back to kind of Matt and some of the coaches, Jack and guys that you had at the club. What was it like, and what has it been like all the times that you've been able to go back to Chattanooga and play, even if it's a preseason game, up there? What has that kind of experience been like, having been from there?
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, I touched on it a few weeks ago, but just the development of that club and going from basically semi-professional to MLS Next Pro it's been super cool to see. And I think, obviously I never played in their first team, but I was, 12, 13 years old in their academy, and seeing the development there as well. They're in ECNL, MLS Next. It's super cool, and going back there and having family members that can't always come to Atlanta see me play is super special.
Real quick, we saw your parents in the stands. About how many friends and family did you have at the game a few weeks ago?
Oh gosh, friends and family. I mean, I would say between 10 and 15 somewhere.
Okay, yeah,
That's cool. One of the descriptions that has been used about you a lot is that you see the game very intelligently. And I think fans in general have kind of thrown out that you see the game similarly to a guy like Michael Parkhurst. Where do you attribute that to? Anybody in particular, or any aspect of your career so far in particular? Or is it just kind of a culmination of being at Chattanooga, then coming to the academy, and kind of where you're at right now?
I mean, obviously it's, I've developed, myself a lot. And I think, obviously last year getting a decent amount of minutes helped with that. But I mean, it would be foolish to say that I did it on my own. I mean, I've learned off some really quality guys like Derek, Steon, Louise, Miles when he was here.
yeah.
And then I think having, adding my own personal experiences on the field and kind of learning through success and failure at times, plus their guidance, is kind of where we are now. So I would say it's definitely a mixture of both.
Two other quick ones, then we'll get you out of here. One, is there a particular match this season that if you could say, I want to be in the starting 11 for that game, which one would it be?
Oh gosh. I mean, two are coming to mind: this Saturday and then Miami home.
There you go. Okay.
Just the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable for that week. So
and then the last one, is there anything in particular, kind of free reign, anything that you just want to say, hey, tell the fans this is what's up?
Yeah, I think, us as players are all expecting a very, very different outcome than we had last season. all of us here are working really hard. We're super optimistic about our goals and, you know, what we can achieve this season. So just know that all of us in the locker room, the staff, everybody, we're super confident. So, you know, just be there and we'll try to bring it home this year.
Sweet. All right. We appreciate it, Noah.
Cool. Thanks,
Noah.
guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
We already got to fire the intern.
What are you talking about? That was great.
I didn't get up. I was about to walk out for a second, and I was like, oh no, what just happened? Let me see if I can figure out where we just left off at. But hey,
I thought we got canceled and we were just like, hit the credits. We're done. Well,
Henry.
that was awesome.
I didn't do anything. I was just watching the Noah Cobb interview.
Well, this was my first time watching it. And I mean, one of the things that I've always wondered, and thank you, Sydney, for asking it, was what do players feel like when they start seeing these rumors, right? We know how we feel, right? Like we're refreshing Twitter nonstop, but it's got to be like one guy, right? Like I think there was an episode of a Ted Lasso that was that, right?
Yeah.
Where they're all freaking out. But like I want to know like a real life situation is, right? Because there's just got to be like one person in there that's just like, you know, just on Twitter, like after practice and just goes, "Do you guys see this? Anyone else see this?" Like that's what I want to know. And like, right. And that's what we asked like the MLS announcers last year when Messi was announced, right? Like when Messi was coming in, we were like, what was that like? Like, what was the group text like when you found that out? So like, it's got to be interesting to be in the locker room when you start seeing that these rumors are coming out there. But it's exciting. And as soon as you said like an intelligent player, I immediately thought of Parkhurst. And sometimes you don't have to be the best physically, but you just got to be smart. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I have been going back and like to get pumped for the season. I've been watching some like old Atlanta United videos, like my YouTube feed like tells me things to watch. And it's like 1 a.m, you know, a couple gummy bears in, and I see, oh, here's the MLS video, championship video. And I literally watched it last night, and they were talking about how Parkhurst knew that the defender, you know, turns a certain way. So that was, like immediately, it was like, oh, I just watched this yesterday.
And that's the thing about Noah is he is incredibly intelligent, especially for his age. But he has the engine and the wheels to back it up. And that's what's really, really cool. He is, this is no offense to anybody in particular. I'm not at all trying to offend anybody.
Sorry, Henry.
I can make a joke, but I'm not. He is Miles Robinson's athleticism mixed with Parkey's intelligence. And I mean, the fact that he still has such a ceiling above him to improve, I mean, Atlanta fans should be excited. And I hope that the club, with all the changes that have happened over the past few months, right, with new coaches, everything else, I hope they continue to remain as high on him as they are. We talk about it, especially like me and Henry when we go to training, Sydney when he's there. Noah Cobb is the first one out of the locker room in the morning. He's the first one on the pitch. And it's just his work ethic is outstanding. And so, you know, it's just really, really cool to see. And we always go back to last year, one of the videos that were released, and you have the locker room and there's two people talking, two people getting into everybody with the way things were going last year early. It was Dax McCarty and randomly Noah Cobb. And that says something for a 19-year-old, I think maybe 18 at the time. That's a big deal, you know, so club's lucky to have a guy like Noah. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, I want to add a couple things. First of all, about Noah walking out to training, like a funny story. So at training on Tuesday, you know, we, the media, are just out there standing, like we watch to see who's walking out so that we can say, oh, hey, this dude is back from injury, or this guy is, you know, conspicuously absent or whatever. And Noah walks out first, and it's a relatively chilly day, so most of the guys are wearing like their, you know, sweatpants and whatever. And Noah comes out wearing sweatpants, and then like I want to say 10 seconds later, he's walking back in to change, and then he walks back out with shorts before before a few people even got out to the training ground. Like, he was out the second time before a lot of the team. And so, yeah, he's definitely one of the first ones out, and he's one of the guys that you just see, like, he puts in the effort. And then the other thing, Tommy, I think it was interesting that you compared him to Parkhurst, because Kevin Egan did the same exact thing. He said, he's kind of like a Michael Parkhurst in his intelligence and his ability to read defensively. So we have a Michael Parkhurst regen coming up through the ranks, which is fun.
We'll have to have Parkhurst on again this year and maybe ask him about it.
He's had conversations, right? He's mentored Noah Cobb, which is really cool as well. So yeah, Parky, I'm sure we can get Parky on at some point in the season.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we've got about 20 minutes until Callum Williams joins us, but I think we've been holding on to a secret here for a little bit, and we've been holding on to it till this week, and we have an announcement to make that's really awesome. Like, it's probably one of the coolest things that's happened to us here in a while, and I think, Tyler, you made a video?
A video was made, and a video was made somewhat in a hurry because we knew how important this was, and we've been waiting to be able to share this with y'all. I'm going to click a button, hope it doesn't just automatically play, but if it does, we'll let it play and y'all see it. But
roll credits.
So, yeah.
Play the Jurgen Damm video again.
So no, while I filibuster, let this thing go. No, this has been a thing that we've been super excited about. We've been working on it for quite some time, admittedly. As you guys know, we have the Signia partnership that we're going to be busy with a lot this year, which is really cool. Opening day, Club World Cup, lots of home matches throughout the season. But we also have this other one that we can finally announce as soon as it is ready for me to hit play on. So y'all help me filibuster.
Well, the guesses right now is Bruno's is saying that Henry's getting married.
Nope.
I don't know. We have not arranged a marriage for him yet, but we will work on that. Someone Edgar thought Sydney Sweeney was joining the show. We're trying. We're really trying. That's actually how Henry's going to get married. Is to Sydney. We're combining Edgar and Bruno's idea together. Congratulations. The bachelor party will be amazing. Turtle says he's joining the show. I missed that in the opening notes, but welcome to the show, Turtle. Turtle's joined the show because Henry is marrying Sydney Sweeney, and he's going to be way too busy with Sydney Sweeney hanging out and doing all the fun things. So, are you going to play the video yet? Do you got the video ready?
Just go do it.
Everybody do another episode of Scarves and Spikes. Welcome back.
It's the announcement that the stream's over.
It's over. No.
What's going on?
You just keep talking, buddy.
Me? I don't know really what to do here. Did the video just freeze?
You just no. It's good. I'm just pulling our faces back up.
Oh gosh, everyone in the comments thinks I'm actually getting married.
I don't know. It's not getting married, guys. I promise.
It's not yet, y'all. Sorry to disappoint you.
If someone says Jurgen Damm about to drink the next pint, that would be amazing. First off, that would be absolutely amazing. Man, we need a full-time intern.
Jurgen Damm to like chug a pint live on stream.
No. All right. So, well, while you're doing it, can I just talk about it now, or what are we doing?
Absolutely. Yes, dive in.
We are starting a partnership with Sweetwater Brewery, which is amazing. And are you getting back to us? Okay, I don't know what you were doing.
We're good. Carry on.
No, we are excited. We hung out with Sweetwater last summer when I flew in, and it was awesome when they announced what the Rowdy Peach, right, IPA.
Yep.
Interesting fact that you will not say on the back of the can. That is the only IPA that I will ever drink. Okay, because it didn't taste like an IPA. Sometimes you taste an IPA and you're like, oh no, not going to do it. No, that one just I like peach anyways. But man, amazing. But yes, we are very excited to announce that partnership with Sweetwater, and we're going to be doing things with them all season, right?
All season.
All
season.
season.
So I'm busy pouring another one over here.
I'm jealous.
no.
We don't get much out here. We do get the 420 out here, but it's very hard to find.
When you come down.
I can't bring it back on a flight.
I mean, the way flights are now, you might be able
Oh,
to. No, we're super excited. This has been a thing that we've, like I said, we've been planning and trying to get going for a while. It was a matter of like, when could it be announced? And technology issues aside, and our new streaming service aside, like, we'll have a lot of stuff coming out over the next couple of days that's a little more official, a little more professional. But we didn't want to miss this opportunity to just kind of share with you guys the news. We're super excited about it. Yes, Mark Henry is old enough to drink, barely. But no, we're excited. Sweetwater has obviously it's one of the biggest Atlanta and Georgia breweries in general. And so we'll have a partnership with them throughout the season. We've got a lot of really cool stuff planned. So other announcements coming that we can't even really talk about yet, but really, really cool stuff. So just super thankful, super grateful. And it helps us as well provide more coverage, more content, everything else for y'all, which is what we enjoy doing. That's why we're doing this. But it frees up a lot for us to be able to go do things. So just super excited, man. And we can joke around about the stupid like video technology issues aside, whatever. This is a really cool moment. Super excited that you guys are here to be able to kind of share a moment with us. But yeah, Sweetwater Brewery is the new partner of Scarves and Spikes.
welcome.
Sweet.
Cheers.
It's too sweet if you're a wrestling fan and you get that
Yeah.
reference. If not, then I'm sorry that you do not enjoy the fun times. So, got the Signia, got Sweetwater hanging out with us as well all season. But we got to talk about the season, right? And we've got about 10 minutes for Callum join. So I'm going to ask you guys, we know, all right, we know the Almarones, the Latte Laths. What else is exciting you about this season?
Just soccer being back, man. Look, there's a lot to be excited about, in my opinion. It's not just the investment in this team. It's knowing that this is kind of a new beginning for Atlanta United in a lot of sense. You have a new coach. You have new players. One old one coming back. That's really exciting. But just knowing that we're going to be back in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I think the preview of this season was that Miami playoff game in the Benz where, what was it, 60, 70,000 people were, screaming their lungs out. We're super pumped, like that, eardrums are bleeding. It was just awesome to be in the Benz there. And I think it was Garth that told us this today at the press conference, but I get it. If I'm remembering this correctly, Josh Blank turned to him when Andre Silva scored that goal and said, this is what it was like in 2018. And I think that's the perfect kind of preface to what this season is. It is we're going back to the roots in a sense. We're going back to the days at Mercedes-Benz Stadium with a packed stadium, the days of Atlanta United playing fun, attractive soccer. That is, we're going direct, we're going towards goal, we're building very, very fun attacks. We've got the best players in the league. Like, that's what I'm excited for. and I have a lot of confidence in the squad. And I have a lot of confidence in some of the players that maybe in previous seasons weren't shining to the level that we might have expected, because I think that they will show out this season. I think you're going to see, Slish step into a much bigger role. You're going to see Saba step into a much bigger role. You're going to see a lot of these guys who were maybe average to below average become better because of not just the players that were brought in, but the system that brings out the best in them. So yeah, I just can't wait to see them play. Like I'm telling you, Saturday 7:30 cannot come soon enough for me.
1 second, Tyler, and I'll just add to that. I think we talked about it on MLS Monday, but like there were videos of Mercedes-Benz Stadium during Leagues Cup, right? It was empty, right? That stadium was empty. We became the famous thing to ruin Leagues Cup, right? That season. It was like, look at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. There's 16 people at the Benz, right? Like there's more concession workers than there are of fans there. And like that's just kind of where it's gotten. And you look through social media and the spaces afterwards really tell you a lot of the story of where the fans were. And the fans were burnt out, right? I mean, there was a talk, people were posting that, that they're Atlanta out, they're canceling their season tickets, and some of that had to do with the price, but a lot of it, I think more had to do with the play on the field, right? Like it was just not acceptable. It was below standards for what this team was. And, listening to Garth talk today, we kind of knew that there was a master plan, right? It was, yes, you're going to have to sacrifice the second part of the season, right? We thought that's what it was. And they ended up, blowing that out of the water and ended up getting into the playoffs and beating Miami. But there was a plan, right? And obviously it was going to be a rough end of the summer, early fall. But they went out, right? And we were all worried and, saying, when are they going to sign these DPs? When are they going to sign them? And they bring them in now, and you've got a squad. And like you said, like we hope that that's what it is, right? Because we've talked about this every season before. Like this is the new year, right? The new year that all of a sudden we're going to score a lot of goals and it's going to work. And we talked ourselves into Silva having a rebound year last year, and obviously that didn't work. But right now on paper, this team looks really good, and the hype is there for real, and it should be there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the things that I've been trying to hammer home a lot, and I'll have an article coming out over on scarfsandspikes.com, but if you're being honest, the past 5 years, and if it's so funny because it feels like COVID was like the moment that it happened, right?
It was the Nashville field.
Nashville
It was the field.
It was like a switch was flipped. And like we can joke around about Frank de Boer in 2019, but the team was successful. You had a lot going on going into that year, into 2020. Nobody knew what was going to happen worldwide, and nobody knew what was going to happen with Joseph. That's all in the past. And it really has been this team trying to recapture that lightning in a bottle for years. And you're now going into 2025, into the actual season, with probably the most goodwill from the fans that you could possibly get. Miggy is a big part of that. But talking with Garth, it's not just about bringing in a guy like him. It's about what he offers off the pitch in training, right? He elevates everybody else around him because everybody wants to push a little bit harder, because if not, Miggy's going to make you look bad. And there's nothing wrong with that. But beyond that, you have an attack that if you leave one of those guys open, these are guys that can beat you 1v1 any day of the week. But if you try to double team or triple team one of those top 4 players, Alexi, Saba, Miggy, and Latte Lath, if you try to take a player off and mark that guy, you're leaving somebody else wide open who will make you pay. And that is an exciting thing as an Atlanta fan. And then I think some of the concerns have been about the defense. And yeah, like you've got injuries. You've got Pedro Amador, who might not be back for a couple of weeks. That's fine. You've got Brooks Lennon, who it's going to be a month most likely before he's back. But you have a group like we had in the Noah Cobb interview that they work well together. Even the subs, quote unquote subs, they work well together. So it feels like the most well-rounded team that you have put together in years. And one of the things I asked Garth today was like, how do you feel about this transfer window? And he kind of laughed. He was like, I think we'll wait a year and see kind of how it plays out. But his general response was like, we're excited. Like we feel like we've done everything that we can do. And of course, like the game is the game, right? Like Football Manager, you put out the best freaking team and whatever happens, happens. So there's nothing you can do once you do it. But I think if you look at this 2025 version of Atlanta United and you don't think that they have set it up for success, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't, because I don't know what else you could have done. Realistically, what else you could have done. It's a solid team. The team has chemistry. The team has strengths both offensively and defensively. I mean, I don't know, man. What can you not be excited about?
Well, we think they have chemistry, right? Like we've seen glimpses of it in the preseason,
They
right?
have chemistry.
But every team says that they're going to have chemistry, right? Like that's what we're working on. But Tyler, don't forget, last season this team said that they had a lot of chemistry as well. And what did we say after a lot of those games? It looked like these guys have never played on the field together at all. This looks like an all-star game where maybe they weren't all stars in there, but you're throwing them all on the field and everybody's screaming at each other, not knowing where everyone's supposed to be, right? Brooks Lennon is screaming at everybody on the field because they just couldn't get it together. So yes, we are absolutely very excited about it. And we obviously have to see the finished product, which we're not going to on September 22nd, right? We're not going to see that in March or April. It's going to be when we get to the fall where this team could still have additions, right? In the summer transfer window to improve themselves. So I'm not going to overreact to what, no matter what happens, unless I'm not going to say anything. Never mind, forget it.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, I'm not gonna anything. Like obviously, because someone put I'm just waiting to see if the team has injuries. Every team's gonna have injuries throughout the season, right? And I know they've changed some things around and how they're dealing with those type of injuries. I think they changed some of the staff, right? Am I right on
Yeah,
that?
a few of the coaching staff are different.
Right, and so
Coach, a couple other guys, yeah.
Right. So I mean, obviously they're going to work on it. But what I want to see, as this team starts progressing, is how Ronnie deals with it. Like, who comes off the bench first, right? Is it Abram? Is it Noah Cobb? Right? Like, I want to see how he manages this team because we've seen Pineda before, and obviously after Pineda left, you just didn't have a lot of time to try things, right? You needed to win. You needed to get wins now. Well, it's a new manager. You got some new players in here. This is the most exciting time. I said this before. Like when you get a new coach and new players coming in, like you just don't know what to expect, right? When this season starts, and we've got some glimpses. And if those glimpses are right, then Saba is going to have one hell of a year because most of the time when we're talking about this, we're talking about Latte Lath, we're talking about Almiron. Obviously, they're the new guys on the block that are here. But Sabo had a pretty good season when he missed a lot of chances. So if he can finish those and not have to be the center of everything, because he had to be the center for a lot, for a large part of that season, if he can, if he's the odd man out and people are forgetting about him, I mean, look at an MVP Saba type season, and that's what I'm hoping for.
And I'll add this also, and this came from the press conference today. I know from Chris Henderson when I asked him, I think Garth might have mentioned it also, but Chris Henderson said, this transfer window, they got their two number one targets for those positions, for striker and for winger. And I also asked him okay, well, Latte Lath, you broke the transfer record in MLS. Some people are like, is it really worth it? Like questioning like whether he'll actually be worth that much. I'm like, well, why was he worth a record breaking fee? And he was like, well, he reminded me of some other players who have played in the league and have really torn it up. And, some that he signed, some that he's had to play against. But either way, like he spoke very highly of him, and like you could tell that both him and Garth are super excited to see him play because they know the quality that he brings. So no, I mean, I have no doubt that they are going to come in and change this team, and this offense is going to be just so much better. And just in preseason, we saw them putting some of those really, really good attacks together, those really quick movements and opening spaces and attacking the box and attacking these, primary areas. And they did that without Latte Lath, because Latte Lath preseason, he only had 45 minutes against Dallas. And most of that was with the reserve group towards the end. And he was still showing flashes of brilliance, flashes of being a very good pressing forward, a very fast guy. So no, like I just can't wait to see him in the Benz, and I can't wait to see him just continue to just start bagging goals, man. Because I know that's what he's going to do, and I know that this Atlanta side is going to be one of the most entertaining to watch, the most entertaining to watch in a long time.
Yeah. And I'll say this really quick too, as we get ready to get Callum in here. When I talked to Latte Lath after, so one of the things he said in the press conference was, the biggest crowd that I played in front of is 55,000. And Garth kind of looked at him and was like, expect 60 plus here on Saturday. And, his eyes kind of lit up and he's just like super excited about it. But then after kind of asked him like, what has made you so successful, right? Like what's kind of built you into this player? And Joe Patrick was there asking questions with me as well. And he kind of hammered down, he kind of alluded to it in the press conference, but his answer was like, I've been all around Europe, top level, very low level, up and down. And he was like, one of the constant factors, no matter what tier you're playing in over there, is if you aren't aggressive as a striker, center backs, defenders, they will run all over you. So you almost have to out bully the defenders. And he's like, that's where my aggression came from. That's where my desire to run in behind center backs came from. And he said, watching some of the defenders in this league, I'm excited about playing against them because there's space there for me to operate. And that's, as an Atlanta fan, you should be excited about that. Like, you got a guy that has wheels on him and he's looking at some of these defenders and he's thinking like, I'm going to feast against these guys. So if he can hold up that end of the bargain, then it's going to be wild.
Can we just fast forward to Saturday?
I know, right?
We can't fast forward. We have Callum waiting for us. So
we do. We're going to dive in with him right now. So MLS, Apple TV announcer and friend of the show from a while back, Callum Williams. How are you?
I'm good, chaps. How are you?
Good.
Great.
Glad to have you on.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Happy opening week of the season. It seems very strange to say that, doesn't it? The off-season feels like it's been an eternity, but also at the same time, it feels like it's been a second as well. So very excited to get going again for sure.
Yeah, we were saying when we started the show, it's been 87 days since Atlanta United played. And like it's the shortest offseason. I don't think there's any other offseason that's shorter than MLS in America, right?
Yeah, you would be right. I can tell you from a European football standpoint, it is short as well. But usually from, let's use the Premier League, for example, it's usually about 80-ish days. So to me, this is quite normal, actually. I don't mind this length of an off season. It was getting to the point, chaps, where I was twiddling my thumbs so much they were starting to bleed. So I'm very much looking forward to getting going again.
Awesome. Well, we were just talking about what we were excited about for Atlanta United, But just in general for MLS, what are you excited about this season?
Atlanta United. I think it's very, very hard to not look at Atlanta United right now. That front four, the best four players that you would assume would start against Montreal on Saturday, that is absolutely mouthwatering. Lobjanidze, I think, got nowhere near the credit he deserves last season and practically carried the team for a certain portion of the campaign last year. And if you look at the four players that are going to be in that front four, if he's viewed as the fourth best, that's a very, very good front line. I'm very excited to see more of Miranchuk because I think there's going to be a lot more to come from him this year. Obviously, Miguel Almiron goes without saying. Excited to see him back in Major League Soccer and the Five Stripes of Atlanta United. But the most intriguing one, I think, is obvious, isn't it, really? And that's Emmanuel Latte Lath, who, look, I have some friends in the UK who are Middlesbrough fans. One of my very, very good friends is a big Middlesbrough fan and follows them as often as he can. They are absolutely devastated they've lost him. And I think what this is, with once again Atlanta United leading the way, by the way, this is a transformational moment for Major League Soccer. Spending that kind of money, I think, was going to happen at some stage, but I don't think we thought it was going to be quite yet. And so spending the reported $22 million obviously is an MLS record. It's also an outbound record for Middlesbrough as well. What I'm noticing, chaps, more than ever before, is Major League Soccer is now a real part of the global conversation. That wasn't the case when maybe Atlanta United first came into the league in 2017. I felt like we were right on the cusp, but now absolutely the league is well and truly involved in these global conversations, and very excited to see it.
You're already guest of the year. Like you're our first guest of the season, obviously. But the way you just hyped me up, give me we're gonna give you the trophy right now. Guest of the year. There you go.
Brilliant. So I'll hoist it high.
There you go. We'll have a trophy lifted to Ben's.
Huh.
So I guess kind of staying on the topic of Emmanuel Latte Lath, what about his play have you kind of honed in on, getting ready to call the match and everything? What makes you most excited about seeing him kind of in action finally?
Well, I think the one thing I would say about him is if you look at the last couple of centre forwards that Atlanta United have had, that were viewed as number one centre forwards, the closest comparison is probably Joseph Martinez, in the sense that he is direct. He is somebody that is comfortable running at people. He's comfortable holding the ball up. If you think back to Yurius Yakumakis, he was really a hold-up centre forward, wasn't he? He wasn't really one that was going to run at players, and he didn't really get in behind as often as you would like him to. And so I feel a little sorry for the likes of Thiago Almada when he was at Atlanta United, because I think he would have benefited playing with somebody like an Emmanuel Latte Lath much more than Yakumakis. And I understand why Yakumakis was brought into the football club. It was to play that hold-up role and to bring in other players into play. And also when the ball is in a wide area, when you've got somebody as magnificent at crossing the ball as Brooks Lennon and as somebody as accurate as that, he's obviously a target. I feel like Emmanuel Latte Lath can do all of that. And obviously he's got a goal in him as well. Just looking at some of the numbers earlier on today, chaps, 10 goals in his last 20 championship games. That's not a number to sniff at whatsoever. The championship, and I was very fortunate, chaps, during the MLS offseason, I did a handful of EFL championship games back in England. And I have said this on many an occasion. Major League Soccer for me now is as good as the championship, if not better than it in many areas. I was treated to a real bore of a 0-0 draw between Portsmouth and Burnley at one stage. And I was saying to a couple of friends afterwards, you cannot tell me that Major League Soccer is worse than that, because that's not the case. And so if you think of the goal-scoring record that Latte Lath has had at Middlesbrough, I can see him scoring goals left, right, and centre in Major League Soccer, and it's going to be really, really good. He's obviously going to get service as well. We've already spoken about those three players that are going to be playing underneath him. So for me, chaps, the front four, as I've mentioned, I think it's the best front line in Major League Soccer, and I don't think there's any debate either.
Hey, Callum. So we just talked about, Latte Lath. We talked about, you mentioned what he brings to this team. You mentioned how big a signing he is. But there's another important guy that's coming back to this club in Miguel Almiron. And as someone who we know from before when he was in this team, the championship team, what do you think we can expect from him making a comeback to a bit of a different Atlanta United, different players for the most part, a different coach? What can we expect from him?
Well, my assumption is that Miranchuk will play in the 10, which would mean Miguel Almiron will probably be on the right-hand side, playing as an inverted winger. And obviously that will bring him inside on his favoured left foot as well. So that's not a bad thing at all, is it? So I think there'll be a lot of interchange between both Almiron and Miranchuk. I think there'll be a lot of combination between the two, more so than we would have probably expected. I also think Miguel Almiron, if he does start on that right-hand side and tucks in, there'll be an invitation to do that as well, because that would, I would assume, create space for the likes of Brooks Lennon if he's fit on Saturday, if he's fit for the first part of the season. To manoeuvre forward on that right-hand side and deliver some of those crosses that he's become so well known for. Look, Miguel Almiron knows coming back, all eyeballs are on him. The weight of Atlanta is on him, and he knows it. But I think he's one of these players that's comfortable doing that. I have a couple of friends who are regular commentators on the English Premier League, and they've said to me before that they actually think Miguel Almiron was really unfortunate to not play a little bit more at Newcastle United this year. There was that 1 year, I think it was 22-23, when he scored 11 goals in the Premier League, and there were people that were saying he was one of the best attacking midfielders in the league. That was only 2 years ago. So to go from that to this, there can't be too much difference whatsoever. So sometimes in football things don't work out. Sometimes the individual wants to be a little more comfortable elsewhere. Sometimes the individual wants to go home. And I think Miguel Almiron views Atlanta as home. And so I think, look, he's going to have a ton of the ball. I think it's going to be quick bursts. Before, I think Miguel Almiron was frightening at times when he had the ball at feet and would run at people. I still think we're going to see that in glimpses, but I actually think now, given the array of attacking talent and the supporting cast behind Latte Lath, I actually think Miguel Almiron is going to be involved in quick, short, sharp passing and quick build-up now, as opposed to individual build-up. So, but look, there's going to be times when Miguel Almiron gets the ball, drops the shoulder and moves inside. You'd better believe he's going to have a go at goal. So, look, again, not that Atlanta United need it, but eyeballs are on them solely because of Miguel Almiron. Let's just push Latte Lath aside for 1 second. If the Latte Lath signing didn't happen, eyeballs would already be on Atlanta United. But the Latte Lath signing, I think, just adds a little more to it. And, I'm interested to see how the players do from a pressure point of view. Because I think at this stage of the season, obviously match day one, just about everybody in Major League Soccer, because it's that kind of league, will half-heartedly say to themselves, maybe it's our year, maybe we can do something, we might sneak into the playoffs and have a good run, very much like Atlanta United did last year. But I would suspect, and you chaps will know far better than I will, I would assume, given the amount of investments in this 11 for Atlanta United, there will be so many around Atlanta saying it really has to be Atlanta this year.
100%. And and you talk about the players. I'm interested to see what the fans do, right? We were just talking about before you hopped on, there were videos of how empty Mercedes-Benz Stadium was at times last season, right? Like the Leagues Cup, they were posting how the stadium was empty for that big game that was there. And I've been saying for a few years now, Atlanta United was so hot when they came in, 17 through 19, the crowd was packed, you were getting record crowds. And when a team struggles in the league, and you look at the NFL, when the New England Patriots went from top of the league to the bottom, that hurts the league. And I'm wondering if Atlanta United gets back up there, consistently gets, sellout crowds, that is good for MLS, right?
You will not find an argument from me there whatsoever, because a good Atlanta United is good for Major League Soccer. You are absolutely 100% spot on there. So, look, we're all excited. I'm sure you guys are all excited, but I bet you a lot of investors and executives who wear suits and ties every day are also very excited from a Major League Soccer point of view as well, because you're right. And ahead of what is beyond integral year in 2026 as well for football in this country, you absolutely want these types of stadiums at maximum capacity and as busy as they can be. And I did an exhibition game at Mercedes-Benz earlier last year. I did Chelsea versus Club America, and I know it's a different crowd. It's not an Atlanta United match, but I assumed it would be much fuller. I thought the stadium would have been. I thought the capacity would have been a bit bigger, and I don't know if people were just a bit irritated and fed up because Atlanta United weren't doing so well. I wonder if Atlanta United were flying and were at the top of the league, would that have changed that crowd? I wonder. I don't know, but maybe that's another debate for another day. But you're completely right, and I say this wholeheartedly and with real serenity here, with sincerity rather. Whenever I talk to people overseas in Europe or South America or what have you, Atlanta United is one of the prime examples that I show people when I'm showing them pictures or videos or what have you, because it's simple. Atlanta United on their day are one of the Premier League teams in Major League Soccer. And so I think what's going to be interesting now is the expectation shift, because there's always expectation for Atlanta United. They're a big team. They have big crowds. There's big expectation, as there should be. But it felt like the last, I would argue, 2 years, it wasn't really the Atlanta United that we'd come to know and understand since they came into the league. I think now, purely with these signings that they've made, and the starting 11 that is more than likely going to play against Montreal on Saturday, everything's changed and the pressure is on, and it should be. And I'm just very interested to see how people react to it from an individual point of view. The good thing is, as well, is they've brought in a decent amount of experience as well. I think the one signing that's going under the radar a little bit is Mateusz Klich, because Mateusz Klich, I did DC 2 or 3 times last year, not too many, but every time he was by far and away head and shoulders above everybody else. And I think with him just sitting and giving Bartosz Slisz a little bit more breathing space, that will be returned as well, by the way, because Mateusz Klich, I think, will be the one of the two of those in the double pivot. Klich will be on the ball more because he'll be involved in the attack more. He also gives Atlanta United the opportunity to go a little more direct when needed. I don't think Atlanta are going to be a direct team when they're going over the top this year, but sometimes if it's 1-1 in the 90th minute you take in the game, you need to go direct. And so I think somebody like Mateusz Klich is going to give them that option, and they've not had that for some time. So, and I say that with all due respect to the likes of Tristan Muyumba, but I'd be very surprised if Mateusz Klich didn't start the game on Saturday.
I would be shocked if Mateusz Klich did not start that game. Watching him in preseason, I was down in Bradenton, Florida, for their stuff down there. He fits with his cohort from Poland very well. Like they have a good partnership, which is good to see, because I think Slisz came into the league last year and he was very up and down. He had a lot of time, both with Poland, coming from Europe and coming to Atlanta. He was constantly working. He has an off season now. He now has a guy there that is a DP at DC United, and has now somehow made his way to Atlanta, and DC still paying the fee for him. But it's exciting to see kind of where those two work together, because Slisz last year was more of an attacking oriented guy, and now he's kind of stepping back in that role and falling back as sometimes a third center back. He's the number 6. While Klich is that ball playing forward. And I've said for the longest time, Atlanta needs a number 8 that is goal dangerous. He doesn't have to be the guy that scores a lot of goals,
Right.
but he needs to be a threat. And I think you've got that in Click.
He got 13 assists last year for DC United. I didn't realize it was that many until I started doing the prep the other day. In a DC United team that, let's be honest, it flattered to deceive last year. It wasn't a great team whatsoever. And I know he had the big figure of Benteke to aim for the majority of the season, but that's an astounding number for a team that didn't make the playoffs. And so I only wonder now what he's going to offer with that quartet that we mentioned ahead of him for Atlanta United.
Henry, what do you got?
Oh yeah. Let me. Sorry, there was a slight change in plans and what we were gonna talk about, but yeah, just looking ahead now to this season, which I can't believe it's already here. Where do you think that this Atlanta United side ends the season? Like, where do you see them in the standings?
Phew.
Putting you on
You
the
don't
spot.
have to be nice just because you're on our show.
No. I'm just really trying to think about this because I was fortunate to do a lot of the Eastern Conference last year, but MLS is such a different league compared to the rest because there's so much turnover. Montreal have 11 new players, by the way. It's just a complete overhaul, and that anywhere else that's an overhaul. In MLS, it's just shoulder shrug. Yeah, sure, that's what happens. So, without having a look at stylistically how teams are going to play and just looking at them on paper, I think Atlanta United finished first. I really do. I think Atlanta United are that good, and at some point, the question is what happens when inevitably when injuries start playing their part, right? Because then you obviously have to drop deeper into the roster, and I when I look at Atlanta United's second string, if you will, let's say for example, Lobjanidze and Almiron both got injured and they can't play for a couple of games. You're going down the list. You've got Shan Silva and you've got Edwin Mosqueda. Those are legitimate starters in Major League Soccer. So the worry for me from an attacking point of view is not depth whatsoever. It's from a defensive point of view where I think to myself, if there are injuries, yes, you've got players that can come in. Like I know Matt Edwards played the last preseason game and allegedly did well. Ronald Hernandez has deputized well when called upon all across the back line. But Pedro Amador, I think is really, really top class. And so whilst there's depth in the back line, I think the difference in quality is the only question mark I have. The other one, and I don't like to talk ill of him because he played for my team for a very long time. Brad Guzan at 40 years of age. I still think he's first class, and I think he's going to be in that category again this year. But would anybody be surprised at the age of 40 if he did drop a little bit in terms of quality and agility and an abundance of other things that I'm sure lose you when you turn 40? So that would be the other thing. And obviously Josh Cohen, I'm sure, can come in and deputise and has done so very admirably when given the opportunity. But that would be the only thing I would say. Maybe just people need to keep their eye on that one because a 40-year-old Brad Guzan, is he as agile and is he as quick in terms of reflexes as a 35-year-old Brad Guzan? That's to be determined, and we'll wait and see. I hope he is, but we'll wait and see.
So I got to say really quick, please, full permission from Atlanta United fans, give Brad all the poking and age jokes and father time jokes you can give him, because that man has apparently figured out a way to turn it into the fountain of youth. So
yep. Yes, he has.
figured it out in the playoffs last year, and it was insane to watch.
Yeah, look, I mean, there was the game against Miami, wasn't there, but where he was just absolutely phenomenal. And I did I did the first playoff game against Montreal, where he had the first mistake, and Joseph Martinez was able to capitalize and score. But after that, he made some spectacular saves, and so I'm just very interested to see, is he going to be consistent enough as a 40-year-old goalkeeper? I hope so, because he's a tremendous human being, and everybody seems to love him around the football club. But we'll wait and see. But I mean, is it a case now where it won't matter too much because Atlanta will be up the other end scoring far too many goals for people to catch up anyway? So who knows? We'll wait and see.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm so excited for this weekend. I mean, it's been a while, like you said, that this Mercedes-Benz has been going crazy, and they told Latte Lath 60,000 people. So
is that true? Do we know? Have we got an official number anywhere?
Yeah. So at the press conference today, when we were talking with Garth Lagerwey, he said that they have a few seats left to sell. He said it's almost a sold out crowd.
Perfect. And all the eyeballs on in Major League Soccer will be on Mercedes-Benz Stadium. There will be mouths drooling across world football looking at that, knowing that the World Cup is here in 18 months. But also there's going to be a tremendous sense of pride domestically here as well, knowing that this is ours. This is football in this part of the world, in North America. That's very, very nice. Having seen a lot of football elsewhere, there are so many leagues around the world that would kill for something like this. So very, very excited to hear that for sure.
Tommy, ship him the trophy already. He's earned it.
Yes, trophy.
I'll bring it on the plane.
There we go.
Are you going to be at the Benz, or are you calling it remotely?
Yep. We'll be at the Benz. Yep, myself and Kalen Carr will be doing the commentary. Very much looking forward to it. As I mentioned, we didn't get to Atlanta last year or the season prior. I did a couple of Atlanta United games on the road, but first one at the Benz, first Atlanta United game at the Benz. And so, look, I think the venue is incredible. And now hearing there's going to be 60,000 plus, it will be the envy of everybody. And there's some wonderful fixtures this weekend in Major League Soccer. I can't wait to see what San Diego are able to do in their opening weekends. I think Austin are going to be intriguing to watch against Kansas City as well with their new front line. But look, let's be honest, chaps. All eyeballs are on Atlanta. All eyeballs are on Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So can't wait to be there. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
We'll see you up in the press box, and hopefully around the time that they say that announcement for Miguel Almiron in front of 65, maybe 70,000 fans. It'll be exciting.
Tremendous. Look forward to it, chaps. I'll see you in the press box, and I'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
See you, Callum.
See ya.
See you, man.
Well, guest of the year. I mean, you have you go into week one. You go into week one, and you just say you can't get better than that, right? I mean, there's a challenge.
We're starting off strong.
We're starting off strong, absolutely. But I mean, I like I said, Atlanta United is one of those teams because you remember, right? Like when you see those promo videos for MLS, you think about the 2018 playoffs, and you see the entire stadium tifo, right? Like those are the type of videos that MLS wants to take, right? And just print it everywhere, put it on every single promotion video out there, because that's obviously, like, we're one of the biggest stadiums in the league, right? In the United States. So that's what gets people, like, seeing it filled, right? And seeing that you're able to fit 60, 70,000 people in there. And then you have moments like what you did with Jean De Silva against Miami. Like, those are the moments that you say, yes, this is how we get people to show people outside the United States what soccer is about here. So get your cameras ready, because that's you're going to be hopefully getting a lot of moments for that.
And get ready to get your eardrums blown out again.
Oh, well, my watch,
because if it's almost a sellout and it's a full stadium, oh boy, this is going to be fun.
My watch already tells me that I'm having heart attacks whenever I'm in that stadium anyways, right? A little bit more with the Falcons. Like, my heart rate's usually like 600 when we're watching a Falcons game. But hopefully it's up high because I'm just so happy, right? Not stressed, just happy. Let's win this by multiple goals and call it a day.
I am thrilled. Talking to Callum from like an outsider perspective, I think it's always interesting, right, to hear, because last year it was like you're going through the motions almost. Um, sorry, the message you just sent in the background as we go through our notes. I did not have a stroke, guys. I did not have a stroke.
He sent us a private message in our chat, and it made no sense. Like I thought it was like the Da Vinci Code, and I had to like go out there and research how to do this. Okay.
No,
Continue.
it had to do with the giveaway. Which
I forgot about we're doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a giveaway still. We have announced a Sweetwater partnership. We've gone through some news. We've had an interview with Noah Cobb, interview with Callum. We'll do the giveaway next after Tommy adds what I said in the chat. But no, I don't know. It's just hearing people from the outside be so excited about Atlanta United and what they're going to see Saturday. And I mean, the cherry on top is, if we're being honest, is if Miguel Almiron gets on the ball with space to run and scores a goal, especially if it's the game-winning goal. But just to see him do that in the bins a couple of years ago as a fan, Henry, you were there. I was there with my family. I was so excited to see that moment because my kids didn't get to go see Miggy when he was here the first time. It just didn't happen. And that was a cool moment. And I thought, well, that might be that was the last time I'll ever get to see him score a goal in the bins. And here we are. There is a very real possibility that this man could blow the absolute roof off of Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Saturday. And just looking forward to that is a privilege. It is such an exciting moment for Atlanta fans. Like, to think about, even if he doesn't score, just him getting on the ball and being a part of it is like, it's almost a surreal moment. So yeah, I mean, to hear like Callum talk about how excited he is about just seeing the attack and like it coming together, it's a really cool time to be an Atlanta United fan.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've been waiting for this for years, right? A consistent team, hopefully. And maybe didn't expect Giacomakis to leave as early as he did, right? Like that was a little bit shorter than what we imagined. But we had, Amada here for a while, and unfortunately, it didn't come together. We didn't win, so we got to see what happens here in the next few weeks. And again, like the important part about this to start this season is you have a lot of games at home. You do, and we've always said you got to win your home games, right? Winning on the road is hard. Hopefully, it's not hard this year, right? We kind of beat that cheat code for a little bit there towards the end of the season. Got a lot more wins than what we expected after Pineda left. But you got to be consistent. But you got to win at home, and you know what? You got to start building that momentum because Miami's going to be here real quick, right? And that, especially seeing how Miami starts and how Atlanta starts, that's going to be the game of the week, and people are going to be saying, depending on how things go for both teams to start the year, that this could be the Eastern Conference Final, right? And that's what's exciting about it, for sure. From there, I heard the rooted video posted, so check that out after you're done with us. After we do this. I did see who he starts at left and right back.
Yeah, I've seen some people in the chat, and this is kind of like an overarching. We have lots of stuff coming in the chat, which is a great problem to have.
It's the only question. It's like the only question of the starting lineup that you really have, because I think Latte Lath. He said it at the presser today that like he hopes to play 90 minutes, right? He's probably not going to, but that's his hope. So that's a wink, wink. He's probably starting, right?
I think he's eased into it. Personally, I think he, as a player, that's what you're going to say. Well, as a good player, that's what you're going to say. You want to go and get after it, like that opening day moment in front of all those fans. He will see the pitch. I have no doubt. I don't know that he starts. We'll see. But as far as right back, it's got to be Ronald Hernandez. Left back, that's the weird one. He's not coming back yet. He's not ready yet.
Amador for anyone that's curious.
Yeah.
If you're new.
Pedro Amador.
I think
he's
for
not-
this game, Hernandez is going to play on the left, and then you're going to probably see Matt Edwards on the right. And I'll tell you this. Look, Matt Edwards.
I disagree.
This preseason, here I'll tell you why. Because this preseason, Matt Edwards has looked pretty solid. He's had a couple of turnovers. Yes, he's had a couple of mistakes, but he's been a very forward going guy. Like he understood the assignment that Ronnie Dyla gave him in terms of always try to look for that forward pass, and the responsibility of him as an outside back being the guy that overlaps and looks to create overloads on the wings. He's been doing that really, really well throughout preseason, and he has been very good at building out from the back and helping this team go forward. Right now, like, your options at outside back are very limited. So, I mean, you have Ronald Hernandez, you have Edwards. Who else do you have that's not injured? I mean, Dominic Chanqui isn't on the first team roster right now, so you can't use him unless you want to use a call up.
I think you play Ronald Hernandez at right back, and I think you have Stian and Derek as your center backs, and I think you play Luis Abram as a left back. I think naturally left-footed guy. He's kind of been put over there a couple of times out of necessity, but Pedro Amador is not, and I see Ricky saying it in the chat, like, yeah, he's the one that's going to be there, but he's not ready yet. He's not ready yet.
Him and Brooks.
And Brooks. Yeah. And, it's we put it in our Patreon today, but one of the things that we talked to Garth about was kind of this situation. And Brooks Lennon, it's going to be a few more weeks for sure, which we knew this. This was expected. He doesn't need to be going in full contact with somebody with his shoulder yet. And Pedro Amador just really returned back to training like a few days ago. There's no universe in which he's going to be set to start on Saturday. You don't want to throw Matt Edwards, I think, into that fire this early on in the season in front of 70,000 people, in front of, like, honestly, one of the biggest games Atlanta has played in 5 years. And it's nothing against Matt Edwards. It's just you run a big risk of playing a young guy like that you throw him in the fire, and some people sink or swim, and that's fine. I fully believe Matt Edwards would swim, but you don't have to take that chance. You have a veteran that you're paying almost $1 million a year in Luis Abram, who can absolutely step over there and do the job. So let the veteran guy do it. Let him take that brunt of responsibility, because that's what you're paying him for. And you have that discipline, right? When Ronald Hernandez bombs forward, Abram has to stay back. Slish might have to stay back a little bit. When it's vice versa, you've got, Ronald staying back and Abram moving forward. So I don't think it's wise to just throw Matt into this situation on February 22nd, just because of what it means and how big it is. I think it's just a big, big stage to throw a guy like that into. Dog has appeared.
His dog has been our door must be scratched all the way up. She has been crying at the stairs to get down here with me. So, and she got a haircut. So
see, looking spiffy.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So should we do the raffle?
Let's do it.
All right. I haven't shared on this thing yet. So if anything,
we're off to a great start, Tommy, because you just
it happened. Whatever
she knocked my microphone down. She knocked
all
the cord out.
of the technological problems that could happen tonight with the Sweetwater announcement, with this. It's all happening. We're getting it out of the way
rolling
now.
and everything.
You're good now.
All right.
So
let's try this.
Here we go. Leroy Jenkins.
No.
Oh. Show
It's
on
not a good
screen.
sound.
That's a good sign. Oh, there we are.
Nope, but that's not gonna work. So hold please.
You got this.
No, I don't.
So I'll give you guys I'm gonna filibuster for you. I got this.
Oh.
Next week, go ahead and tell y'all who the guest is gonna be. Our old friend who I think actually missed last year. I don't think we were able to get him on last year, which sucks because he is a fan favorite. But next Wednesday, it is not Jurgen Damm because I see that popping up already. It's not Jurgen Damm. Next Wednesday, Jason, Chris, yes, Sweetwater announcement. Sweetwater, Scarves and Spikes partnership. So there you go. Next week, we will have DJ EU on the show. Super excited about it. So, y'all know EU. If you don't know DJ EU, anything you attribute to good music inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium,
No.
you can thank DJ EU.
Tommy doesn't seem to agree.
He's trying to figure out his life.
No, yeah.
He's got this.
Bruno says
I'm working. I'm working on it.
Jar, Bruno.
Yeah. Don't say that, Bruno. That's $1.
Yeah, we don't say that name. All right, one more chance. If not,
One more
I
shot.
apologize
You got it?
for. No, I don't know if I have it or not.
We'll run it in the background, and you'll just have to hype it up. It's like Wheel of Fortune.
Can you see it?
Hang on.
No.
Hang on.
Oh, wait,
there
yeah,
we
we got it. Go.
All right. So I tried my best to find all these names. People weren't responding back on certain things. People were DMing us, all this. So if your name's not on it, we'll do more contests. I apologize. Here we go. I'm nervous. For a $25 gift card to help you pay for your Miguel Almiron or Latte Lath kit.
Or whatever you want on
Play the
MLS.
music.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Whoa.
Hey. CW3.
Congratulations.
So happy that I checked our DMs shortly before we did this. You are welcome. Congratulations. That was the stroke comment that they were laughing at. I was like, hey, make sure you add this name to the giveaway.
Okay, but to be fair, you misspelled giveaway also.
I know I did. I
You
literally
were like
with a microphone in my way. Yeah, it looked like I had a stroke. I said, add CW3 to the GoVA.
Go. What is that?
All right.
And now
With that, let's get to the predictions. So what we were talking about before is we need all of your help because we need to figure out here what the punishment is for the last place and what the reward is for the first place. So that's what we're trying. So we'll figure this out in the next couple of weeks. Our friend over at the I'm gonna forget his podcast name. Ben, the crew guy, upper 90, yeah. So listen to what they're doing. They're making whoever finishes last place go to Columbus and wear an entire Austin FC kit, like in the entire thing.
Oh,
so they've got to go. They got to go to Crew Stadium and wear everything, like even the cleats, everything. So. Ooh, and Ricky puts 2026 Orlando game, and Orlando kit must be worn at the Pens by the loser.
Oh,
it's pretty good. We'll work on this here, but loser signs up and takes the SAT. Can you do that?
I think so.
I guess.
Sign up for the SATs for shits and giggles?
When was the last time you took the SAT, Tommy?
I'm old, so I'm gonna fail. Oh, it'd be embarrassing. It'd be embarrassing if I did that. It'd be like, was it Billy Madison? Billy Madison was when he went back to school, right?
Tommy gets a 7 on the SAT.
Can you even get a 7?
Isn't it like you get like a certain amount of points for filling your name out right?
If you just put your name on it, you get like 50 or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying he fails at writing his name?
No offense, Tommy. I love you.
Well,
Man,
yeah, but
really
let us
me.
know.
Jeez.
Let us know in the Discord. Let us know in the comments what we should do as the punishment for our our predictions throughout this season. We'll be posting them on social, and we'll be sharing them throughout the shows this season so that we can keep track. But this is serious, y'all. It's game on.
All right.
There will be winners and there will be Tyler.
All right. So before we get to predictions real quick, just to throw it out there, we have a new schedule starting this week. So again, because my wife asked me this, like when I'm actually going to be a husband. So I had to give her the schedule. So I have it memorized now. So Mondays, we are sticking to MLS Mondays. You can join the gang with that. I usually don't show up on MLS Mondays unless something important happens. So you can deal with these guys then. Wednesday will be our normal show. Preview the show, have someone from MLS on, talk about the game, do our predictions. Saturday, join us before the game, an hour before. We will be live on YouTube. Even when we do live shows, we try our best to be able to get it on there. We'll be talking about the lineups. It's going to be a little bit earlier because we are doing the live show, so the lineups will kind of come out right when we're ending. But we'll be live at 5:30 this week because we are doing the live show. So we will talk about the game, talk about the season at the Signia. Afterwards, after the game, come join us on Twitter Spaces or X Spaces, whatever. I hate calling it X. It will be a little bit later again, this one, because I usually run these during the home games, but I will be in town and I will be drunk at some bar with loud music probably afterwards. So one of these guys will be starting it after the game, so you can join them afterwards. But normally we start it right after the game, so you can join that. And the new thing that we'll be doing is on Sundays. I don't know if we've named the show yet, but Sundays you will join us at what time? Have we even figured out a time yet?
We've thrown some up and down.
We need to figure this out.
Oh yeah. No, keep eyes on the social media. We had thought 7. We kind of bumped it. Maybe we'll see. We'll let you guys know for sure the time, but it's an opportunity, almost like Spaces.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about the game. That kind of just end the week, so we're not talking about it on Wednesdays when people just want to be talking about the next game. So join us on Sundays. That's the new show. Justin says, "Was Tommy not drunk when he comes to Atlanta?" Well, we'll see how many Rowdy Peach IPAs I drink, and we will go from there. We'll see where the night takes me. But come hang out.
Have a partnership with Sweetwater.
I know. I can't get Rowdy Peach in Ohio. I don't even know what our plant, whatever. Anyways, so we will come hang out. This is Signia. Afterwards, if you want to come hang out with me, I think we're going somewhere afterwards. But DM me, or I'll probably drunk tweet exactly where I am. So come hang out with me after the game. I will be out all night. With that, predictions. We got a ton of predictions in here. We'll read those out here in a minute. But what are your guys' predictions for this game? And Tyler, just let me get this started. You don't have to write a fan fiction about every single little thing that happens.
I'm not. I got it.
You know, because you're like, oh, well, Latte Lath is going to score in the 26th minute, maybe at 30 seconds. I'm not sure. It might be 40.
My fan fiction adds some spice to it, so shut up. All right, I'm going in.
I don't look. If you're going to write fan fiction, like make it like like the smut, fan fiction,
like the one I did for Miggy.
Dude, Miguel, I don't know if you're watching this. Don't go back and listen to whatever he talked about because I must have blanked it out.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about right now.
I don't know. I must have missed. I
was here to talk about predictions. Y'all are talking about Miguel Elmer on fan fiction. I think we've taken it a little bit too far.
It's a little bit late. All right, what's your damn prediction? What is the prediction?
So first thing, just so y'all know, for our score prediction contest, a couple of changes. So we're going to give you all our score line and our result predictions. If we get the score line correct, so like 3-1, 2-1, whatever, that's a point. If we get the outcome, win, loss, draw, correct, that is a point. The change is that if we get both right, that's actually 3 points instead of 2 points, just to reward you for being spot on. And then the first tiebreaker now is going to be, those spot on predictions where you get both the score and the outcome correct. And we'll let you know who's first. We'll have a table posting every week. But anyway, I'll get to my prediction. I said that Atlanta is going to win 2-0.
Ditto.
Man, ditto. Like we need one of the other ones on here to be like, oh, I'm different.
Are all three of us 2-0?
All three of us are 2-0.
Yeah.
So yeah, us three were 2-0. Jackson's also 2-0, and Sydney and Gray both had 3-1 Atlanta.
There you go. So everybody's predicting an Atlanta win
by 2 goals,
which is fair, by 2 goals. Most of us say they keep a clean sheet. 2 say they don't, but they still win by 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Joseph Martinez was our biggest. But I think he scored all the goals in the second game and the playoff game.
Yep.
So, who knows what's going to happen here? But I expect a crazy stadium. And yes, I see the supporters lot. They're obviously going to be partying beforehand. I'm going to head over there earlier. I think they start at 3.
Yeah,
which
3.
I don't know how. Like, look, real quick, because I just need to say this. Like, shout out to all the supporters for all the games. Like, I could do that like once a month. Like, just get crazy, right, and deal with a hangover. But some of them do it like potentially, depending on MLS schedule, 3 times in a month. Like, shout out to you guys. So 3:00, I will be over. I think Tyler, are you getting there a little bit early too? Henry,
I will be there early. Yeah. I don't know that I'm going to make it over to the supporters groups, but if I can, I definitely will. It just depends on how things go.
Right. So I will be over at the supporters lot until about 5-ish. Head over to the Signia at 5:30. We're going to do our show, head over to the stadium, and then we'll figure it out what's going to go after the game. But hopefully we will be celebrating a win from there. With that, I mean, everybody's, saying Atlanta United's going to win, which is good because our predictions were getting real sad there for a while. Even everybody that was listening was going there. As far as what else we're doing on Patreon, we do our watch alongs once a month. We go on there, sometimes a little bit more depending on what's going on. Our first watch along is going to be the Cincinnati game, I believe, that we've talked about. I will be at the Cincinnati game, so if you guys want live coverage there of me on quite a few drinks, I will be there. So I'll join the watch along through the game. So we're doing that. And is there anything else I'm missing? We've had so much stuff today.
This has been a busy episode. No, I mean, Patreon. Join us over on patreon.com /Scarves and Spikes. Get you in the Discord, like Tommy's saying, watch along. We have fun with those. It's a good time. Thank you to Sweetwater. We will have, as it comes out, as we get more kind of settled and situated with Sweetwater with some stuff that we can't quite announce yet, but we'll be announcing soon. There's just a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to do with them. So super excited. And yeah, y'all come hang out with us at the Signia. You'll have time to get inside the bins after the show. You'll have an hour and a little bit before kickoff, even if you come to the show. So it'll be a good time. We have fun over there. And my goal at the Signia inside the bar is to get an Atlanta chant or a Miggy chant going that blows the windows out of the place. I may even give somebody a drink if y'all can get it started.
Well, this is how bad last season was. I'm here in Ohio watching this man try to offer people to do a shot with him, and nobody is volunteering to do the shot. Like, it was wild. Like, that's how low it was last season. But seriously, come say hi to us. If we're walking around, you run into us, say hi. Depending on how much I've been drinking, I'll probably buy you a drink. I'll have Henry ID you from there. But yes, this is starting our 4th year together, right, Tyler?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our 4th
overall.
Year. Yeah, our 4th year of us together. And I do this all the time, and it's just natural. We just thank you guys for hanging out with us over the past 3 years. This year is going to be hopefully awesome, much better than the ones that we've had since then. We started right when everybody was coming back from COVID, and we've seen some ups and some downs, but we're hoping for a consistent, great season here, and we're excited to hang out with everyone. So thank you, and let's have a fun season for sure. And with that, I think we can hit the music, right?
Roll
We
credits for
probably
real this time.
Yeah. Play the Cobb and play the
We're
Cobb interview.
well after dark. Well after. Good times. Good.
Man, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
I just can't keep saying it. Like, I mean, think about it. Jurgen Damm in Oakland. Like, what can that man do? What can he do?
What
Like,
can he not do?
USL MVP. Look at Rocco Rios. Like, how great he did. And now he's the starting goalkeeper for Miami. Did I get that right? Is he the starting
No.
goalkeeper for Miami?
He's not starting right now.
I know. Don't ruin the bit. You're like Sydney, always ruining the bit. You can't ruin the bit, man. So yeah, like, think about it. Well, no, I guess he can't do. Like, no, I mean, that's not going to happen anymore. But think about it. If Rocco didn't go to Miami, you could have had in the USL Cup final Jurgen Damm versus Rocco Rios for the game-winning goal. Like, oh my goodness, fireworks! You'd have a 20 for 20 just on that penalty kick.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
I know. All right, all. We will see you on Saturday. Let's get crazy.
Saturday it is.